The concept of global warming being a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is a perspective that may seem far-fetched to many, but it warrants exploration, especially considering the strong convictions of those who hold this view. This perspective is rooted in a belief system that sees the world as a battleground between good and evil, with global warming being a tool used by satanic forces to disrupt God's creation and undermine the teachings of Jesus. Proponents of this view argue that the biblical account of creation emphasizes humanity's role as stewards of the earth, tasked with caring for and managing God's creation. They believe that the current state of environmental degradation, largely attributed to human activities contributing to global warming, is a deviation from this divine mandate. By wreaking havoc on the environment, humans are not only failing in their stewardship, but are also playing into the hands of satanic forces that seek to destroy God's creation. This perspective often draws on biblical prophecies and interpretations that see environmental disasters as signs of the end times or as punishments for humanity's sins. The Book of Revelation, for example, describes cataclysmic events that could be interpreted as environmental disasters, which some believers see as connected to the current global warming crisis. The view that global warming is a satanic mission suggests that these environmental issues are not just the result of human error or neglect, but are part of a larger spiritual struggle. Moreover, some Christians believe that the emphasis on environmentalism and the actions taken to combat global warming, such as the Paris Agreement and other international efforts, may inadvertently serve satanic purposes by promoting a secular, human-centered approach to solving environmental issues. This perspective argues that while the intention to save the planet is commendable, the methods and ideologies behind these efforts may contradict Christian values by elevating human capability and science above faith and divine intervention. The notion that global warming is a satanic mission also touches on the idea of a great deception, where satanic forces manipulate humanity into beliefs and actions that are contrary to God's will. In this context, the scientific consensus on global warming and the call for drastic action to reduce carbon emissions might be seen as part of this deception, distracting humanity from spiritual truths and the true nature of the environmental crisis. However, this perspective is not without its criticisms and challenges. Many argue that attributing global warming to a satanic mission undermines the scientific consensus and the urgent need for collective action to address the crisis. It can also divert attention from practical solutions and policy changes that are necessary to mitigate the effects of global warming. Furthermore, this view may alienate those who are not of the Christian faith, potentially hindering a unified global response to the environmental challenges we face. In conclusion, while the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus may seem extreme or unfounded to many, it reflects a deeply held conviction among some believers. This perspective is complex, intertwining religious beliefs with environmental issues and the perceived role of satanic forces in the world. It highlights the diversity of views within the Christian community regarding the interpretation of biblical teachings in the context of modern environmental challenges. Ultimately, addressing global warming will require a multifaceted approach that considers both the scientific and the spiritual dimensions of the issue, seeking common ground among diverse perspectives to tackle this pressing global problem.